Lawrence Smith, the head coach at Crisp County, the third year for Coach Smith. All right, 7-5 last year. You had a playoff win, then you lost to Mary Persons. What were your thoughts on that 2023 season, Coach?
It was a season that I was happy about it. Looking at it overall, of course, we didn't reach our ultimate goal of winning the state championship. Of course, that's everybody's goal. But it was a season that I was proud of our young men and proud of the growth that I saw with them, especially coming in with a first year starting quarterback in Hagen Slimp. We did some really really good things, and to go further from the previous year in the playoffs it was a satisfying feeling.
Something about your defense. You have four starters back. Y'all were pretty good last year on defense, allowed 21 points per game. You got a really good player, Caden Daniels, who's going to Vanderbilt, so we know he's smart. He's got to be pretty smart back there, and I would imagine the player of that caliber is going to kind of lead you back there. Is that right?
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, he's committed to Vanderbilt. Caden's a really really smart kid. A funny story about that. I was updating my prospect list, and he happened to walk in my office, and he saw it on the big screen, and I had to change his GPA from 4.0 to 3.9, and he just kind of looked at me, and he was like, he kind of rolled his eyes at me, and I could tell that he was upset. He gotten a B and everything, so that was funny about that. And that's the type of kid that he is. That's the type of person he is. He always wants to do the best that he can. He always wants to be challenged. And he does the same thing with his teammates. He's not a rah-rah guy, but he will get in somebody's face if, he sees that they're not doing the best that they can, or they're not doing right by him or his teammates.
That's great. Good for him, and look forward to seeing what he can do in his final year at Chris before he heads off to Nashville. All right, first game on the 16th of Sumter County. We'll see how that offense is for this year for Chris County in our next report. Coach Lawrence Smith is back for his third season at Crisp County. The Cougars coming off a 7-5 season, and an offense was pretty good last year. Coach, 27.4 points per game. You got 5 returning starters, including your quarterback, Hagen Slim. Tell me a little bit about him.
Anytime you have your trigger man coming back with some valuable experience gained, is always a great thing.
Sure.
I'm a trench guy. The game is always won in the trenches, but it's just something about having that trigger man back. And Hagen, he's done an amazing job. One thing is he's a coach's kid, and it's always something about a coach's kid being able to understand things, being very coachable, being able to make plays. He can see the game because he's seen it from a coach's perspective pretty much his entire life. He did a great job coming on last year. He's put in a lot of work in the offseason, on the field, off the field. He's another one of those 4.0 plus kids. Very smart kid, and one of the hardest working kids on our team. So I'm looking forward to the season that he's going to have this year.
You got to replace Barry Walker, one of your great players from last year, offensive lineman. How is it sitting up front for you?
Well, I mean, anytime you got a player of Barry's caliber, and you lose him to graduation, which happens year in, year out when you have programs, it's always tough to replace him. You just kind of have to put things together in order to have a unit, especially up front, have a unit that can replace, that entire unit when you miss somebody like Barry.
Yeah, absolutely. No question. Well,
we have a couple of returning starters in Dustin Griffin and Todd Glover, who's done a good job of leading, that unit this year, this offseason rather. Good. And I'm looking forward to seeing the growth from that whole group.
Absolutely. Look forward to seeing that. All right, finally, real quick, going to Region 3 and AA, and from 1 in AAA to Region 3 and AA, Appling County, Cook, Pierce County, Tatnall County, tough, right?
Yeah. We spoke off the air, and anybody that's spoken to me about, the newer realignment, I tell them, honestly, I think it's one of the toughest regions in the state. Yeah. You got teams that have competed for state championships, won state championships, made deep runs in the playoffs, all in the last 5 to 6 years, and there's no fall off. I had somebody tell me, well, Tatnall wasn't very good last year, coach, but they have a lot returning, and I really do think that they're going to make some noise. So to say that this is a very tough region, I think is an understatement. And I'm honestly, as a competitor, I'm looking forward to the competition.
All 5 of those places on a Friday night in the fall are tough football games. There's
Very much
no
so. Very
question
much
about
so.
that.
Uh,
Too much football has gone on in those home stadiums for those 5 programs, including yours, and nothing easy about those, is it?
yeah. No, no. And like I said, as a competitor, you look forward to those types of things, those
Yeah,
types of games, those types of atmospheres. And I think it's going to bring out the best in any of our players from each team in that region.
yeah,
And I honestly believe we could see a Final Four from that region.
yeah,
I think it's really possible.
yeah. I do too. Good football. We're looking forward to it, Coach. Always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much. Good luck to you this year.
Thank you.